Tonight on the County Line, we have all the information you'll need for the upcoming primary election.
The community walked for a good cause this weekend when Relay for Life came to Westminster College.
If it smells a little fishy around the county, it's because trout season is in full swing. We've got the big catch for you.
Melissa Maines has all of your sports action in Titantown Sports. We're live.
We're local.
The County Line starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the County Line. I'm Amanda Conway.
And I'm Shana Marty. With the Pennsylvania primary just around the corner, big-name politicians have been visiting the area. Yesterday, former President Bill Clinton visited Newcastle High School. Reporter Pamela Marlowe was in Newcastle for all the action.
Carol, we might start campaign buttons, folks.
They lined up, signed up, and filed in Newcastle High School as the self-proclaimed biggest supporters of Hillary! Just to find her biggest supporter trumping her ideals.
You will never in your life ever have a chance to vote for somebody who's a better change maker for other people. Never.
In his first visit to Lawrence County in over 10 years, former President Bill Clinton championed the ideals of wife Hillary to keep the economy in this county strong for at least another 10.
She's by far the best qualified with the best ideas to turn this economy around. She'll do something to make college affordable for everybody and help the public schools get over the No Child Left Behind law and what it's done.
Lawrence County politicians among the crowd agree Hillary's platform is what the area is looking for.
Well, we needed a boost. We needed a psychological boost, and the fact that he's here, it makes us feel good about our importance, not only on the local scene, the statewide scene, but on the national scene.
I'm hoping that the point that he made will resonate with the citizens of Newcastle and also Pennsylvania.
Clinton's speech also resonated to the ever-important young vote.
Like that live connection, like seeing Bill talk about all what she stands for and getting the troops out of Iraq and getting health insurance for everyone, it just really made me feel like that much more important that I'm making the right decision voting for Hillary.
She'll go on and win this nomination and be the next president. Thank you. God bless you.
In Newcastle, I'm Pamela Marlowe for the County Line.
With Pennsylvania being an important deciding factor in the election, you don't want to miss your chance to vote. Voters casting ballots are reminded that they must show proper identification. Voting at a new polling place requires voters to show ID as well. Proper identification includes a PA driver's license, an American passport, a student or employer ID, or a voter registration card.
Local voters preparing for the upcoming primary very soon. Professor of Political Science Jim Rhodes gives his insight on the politicians. The County Line's Alex Hines has more.
For the first time in many years, the presidential primaries have made it all the way to Pennsylvania, giving people here in the state a much bigger role to play in the primaries and possibly deciding who our next president will be. And here to talk with me about this right now is Jim Rhodes, Associate Professor of Political Science here at Westminster College. So first of all, welcome and thanks for coming to talk to us today.
Well, thank you. My pleasure.
So my first question is, the biggest thing to happen in Lawrence County here lately with the elections is President Clinton showing up to stump for his wife, who's, of course, Hillary Clinton, running for the Democratic nomination. What do you think that might do for the elections here, especially in a county that's pretty close between the two?
Yeah, well, you know, Western Pennsylvania has really been a stronghold for Senator Clinton. And so some people are wondering why they are using resources like her husband, the former president, in this area, and some see it as a sign of weakness. I'm not sure that it is. I think one of the things that they're trying to do is run up as large a vote as they can, because one of the things that the argument she needs to make ultimately is that she is the more electable candidate. And for her to do that, she's not going to get on top of Obama in terms of pledged delegates, but she may be able to get on top of him in terms of the popular vote overall in the country. And so I think that's part of their strategy. They're hoping to win big in Pennsylvania, and to do that, they've got to win big in Western Pennsylvania.
All right. Now, speaking of the popular vote, we know that the the pledged delegate votes are rather close. I think it's about 100.
About 100 to 150.
How close is the actual popular vote? Because we don't really hear those numbers nearly as much.
Right. The popular vote is about 700,000 at advantage for Obama. Okay. And so she needs to cut in on that. And Pennsylvania is one of the largest states remaining. It's the largest state remaining. So it's really important for her to do that, because if she gets to the convention, neither one of them are going to have the delegates they need when they get to the convention. They're going to have to rely on superdelegates, either one of them. But if he is ahead in the popular vote, and he's ahead in states won, and he's ahead in pledged delegates, she's going to have an awful difficult time in trying to convince superdelegates to back her. Sure. But if she can get on, the popular vote, that's an argument she can make.
All right. Now, to take off of that, since President Clinton visited, neither of the candidates have been, in Lawrence County or this area.
That's right.
The county elections director, Marlene Gabriel, said recently that if someone were to show up here in Lawrence County someplace, they would stand a very good chance of carrying the county. Do you think that would probably hold true?
Perhaps. I think the demography of this region really sets itself up very well for Senator Clinton. Perhaps. Senator Obama's strength in this state is going to be Philadelphia and the suburbs of Philadelphia. Her strength is going to be in Pittsburgh and its surrounding area. So the state really is bifurcated as far as the two Democratic candidates are concerned.
All right. So now to look at things in the future, if Hillary wins in the entire state, what happens?
Well, then we go on, and there are primaries to be held in North Carolina, in which Senator Obama is clearly ahead. He's the favorite there. Indiana is really a critical state because it's right now it's so close. And if he can win on May the 6th, and both of those are on May the 6th, if he can win North Carolina and Indiana, that will probably give impetus to a lot of party stalwarts to go to Hillary Clinton and say, you've got to get out. But if she can win Indiana, then we go on.
All right. So that's how the race will go. Jim Rhodes, thanks a lot for being with us here tonight.
You're welcome.
And Moore County Line is on the way.
Tires burns less fuel and saves me money on gas. Yeah, I'm saving Mother Nature from pollution, but more importantly, she saved me $11. Ow!
Environmental defense. Get green. Go to getgreen.com.
So nice out here.
Yeah, I used to come out here when I was a kid. Nothing.
No, I definitely heard something.
Look! Who's that?
Let's get out of here! What are you doing? Stop the door!
Okay.
Turn out!
He does? I'm sorry! Come on, baby!
Think history is a little scary? Then log on to LOC.gov and see how much fun it can be. The Library of Congress at LOC.gov.
Once they've outgrown their toddler seat, they're still not ready for adult safety belts alone. 4'9" is the magic number. Until then, kids need a booster seat. Make sure your little pumpkin gets there safely. Visit boosterseat.gov.
The IRS is responsible for making sure people pay their taxes, and yesterday they visited the college in an effort to show students how financial crimes are handled. The County Line's Nikki Pizar bust open the student behind the Westminster College project.
The drug bust seemed real, but it was only a simulation to help Westminster students learn about a small IRS division.
We had a little training on what to do, but you kind of just had to figure it out yourself. You kind of just, I don't know, in my mind, I kind of pieced together things I've seen on TV and stuff like that.
Scott was one of the 18 students who took on the role of a special agent for the day.
We did a lot of the investigations. The tax records, they were a little challenging for me.
A significant background in accounting is necessary for this job.
What a special agent of the IRS does is investigates. We don't audit. We follow a paper trail and money trail, and then we may recommend a prosecution to the United States Attorney's Office, who then will charge that person criminally, who in more likelihood is going to go to jail.
Drug busts and tax fraud weren't the only scenarios on the agenda. The IRS Criminal Investigation Division deals with all sorts of financial crimes that require their special agents to be trained as federal law enforcement officers.
Of being in a deadly force scenario, it gives you the stress of it, but at the same time it keeps you safe. And what it does is it'll enable you to get an idea in your head of what it might be like, how you may react, what you might do.
All the students got a shot at the firearms training facility. Plus, the division was keeping a close eye on the community. But special agents still need to stick to the records.
We spend our day about 50 to 60% of our time of going through documents and records. That's really where you find out where a crime takes place. That's the best way to document and evidence. Paper doesn't lie, computer records don't lie. Your students are doing this, not us. We've created the scenario. We want them to work the case, and it's a very effective tool. We've never had one student tell us that they didn't like it. In fact, the only complaint we get, can we do it again tomorrow?
After this simulation day, Scott could see herself working now as an IRS special agent.
Oh yes, I had no idea it even existed until he came to class. And even when he was standing there, it made zero sense to me until he elaborated more on what they do and who they are, the backgrounds that they have, like educational-wise, criminal justice and accounting. And yes, I could see myself doing this with some accounting classes under my belt, if I can get those.
From a drug bust to rummaging through the garbage and looking at tax documents, students learned a lot about the IRS Criminal Division. In New Wilmington, I'm Nikki Pizar for the County Line.
With over 75,000 reported cases of cancer in Pennsylvania alone, the Brothers of Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity hosted its 11th annual Relay for Life to help raise money for cancer research. County Line reporter Danielle Adams was at the event, and she introduces us to some of the people this event affects.
Walking around a track for 12 hours may not sound fun to most people, but for those at the Relay for Life, this walk represents a journey to a cure. And for cancer survivors, this day means so much more.
It's very emotional. It always brings tears to my... I never thought something would affect me like this does, that everybody supports us.
Well, we're walking for a sorority sister's mom who passed away last summer, so kind of down here to support her.
With a chance of rain in the forecast, that hasn't dampened the spirits of any of the participants here at the Relay for Life. There are some people, such as the Brothers of the Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity, who plan to stay for the entire 12 hours.
We want to show people that even though it's cold and gloomy outside, that you can still walk around and have fun and just be out here all day. This is what it's about, being out in the atmosphere.
While there are games and fun to be had by all, there are some parts of the event that are hard to get through.
It was hard to watch the survivors walk because it was hard to not be emotional, but yeah, I think it's pretty easy commitment.
I think it's sad, but I think it's also very gives a lot of hope to those people who are going through it to see that people can make it through and still can survive, the attack of cancer.
Although this event focuses on the survivors of this disease, Anita Rayner thinks about those who have fought before her.
Because there's so many that have gone before us that aren't here anymore. That's hard. And every year it seems like there's somebody else that I know that's affected.
The Relay for Life is just a small step in the effort to find a cure. But until one is found, many more steps will need to be taken. In New Wilmington, reporting for the County Line, I'm Danielle Adams.
Throughout the week, the Brothers of Theta Chi and Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternities have been sponsoring Take Back the Night. These events bring awareness to crimes against women. Tonight, a concert featuring Levi Sanchez and Ben Ports is being held in Berlin Lounge. The event is free to women and men can attend with a donation. Tomorrow night, a march and rally will begin at 8 p.m. on the Quad. All proceeds will benefit the Lawrence County Crisis Shelter.
The Cathedral in Newcastle features film festivals, conferences, and the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra. But on Tuesday evenings, it's bingo. The crowds come out to try their luck and support the Cathedral Foundation. Reporter Jeremiah Patterson caught up with one bingo enthusiast to find out what keeps her playing.
Crazy, crazy, crazy L. This is the crazy L.
Meet Louise Long.
she's not really crazy, just playing bingo. She might not win.
Oh, well.
But still enjoys it.
We're having so much fun anyways. That's what happens when you're a senior citizen.
Long says she's been at the game for 35 years. She doesn't win very often, but there's a good reason why she keeps coming back.
Friends. We get happy. We're bored at home.
That's it.
But no.
And what does she do when she's not playing bingo?
Go to the casino.
Though there isn't any skill involved in bingo itself, Long says she uses her experience to keep track of the 24 cards she plays at a time. At the Cathedral in Newcastle, the cards come in a package that's purchased for various amounts.
See, it's all in the package. You buy a package. This cost us $32. His cost $27. And that's it. So you really got a bingo to get your money back for husband and wife when you think about it, right? But he don't care. We're out for the day.
The money that players don't win goes towards a nonprofit cathedral foundation. Jim Kunzelman is the vice president of the foundation. He says the money helps to maintain the cathedral and its support for the community.
We do things civically. We have high school graduations here. Proms are here. We have the cancer support group. There are a lot of nonprofit places that we support.
Kunzelman says there's 50-50 raffles and door prizes, but the main event is bingo. And although her luck might be as bouncy as these bingo numbers themselves, Louise Long is just here for a good night out. And to her, that's certainly worth a bingo.
Everybody should go to bingo if you can afford it. It's just fun. It's fun, just getting out and meeting people and talking and laugh. That's the best medicine of all, going out. If you can afford it, go, right? Yeah. Better than staying home.
Reporting in Newcastle, I'm Jeremiah Patterson for the County Line.
Coming up on the County Line, the tennis team is heading to PAX.
And Melissa Maines has all of your Pittsburgh Penguins and Pirates updates.
Stay tuned, more County Line is on the way.
Of a spare tire.
Please report to the press box to retrieve your appendage. They must have lost this parking further from the stadium and walking in.
Remember, if there's ever an emergency, we meet here at the bottom of the driveway.
And I'll get the emergency disaster kit out of the kitchen.
Once we're all together, then we'll decide what to do.
But what about Fido?
What about Fido? The Lawrence County Humane Society reminds you to include your pets in your disaster planning. Make sure that your pets have identification tags that include your phone number. To find out more about how to protect your pets in a disaster, contact the Lawrence County Humane Society.
Come on! This way! Who is that guy? I don't know! Hurry up! He's right behind us! I know! Come on, get up!
407 years ago.
Think history is a little scary? Then log on to LOC.gov and see how much fun it can be. The Library of Congress at LOC.gov.
What do you got there, Dave? Looks like someone's thunder thighs. They must have lost them playing in the snow with their kids. Let's get back to work.
Good evening, sports fans. I'm Melissa Maines with this week's edition of Titantown Sports. We recently had the opportunity to sit down and talk to the men's tennis team about their upcoming trip to PAX.
PAX we took second last year, so hopefully to repeat the same, because Grove City would be really tough to beat.
Last year was just an absolute delight to watch the guys play.
We had a lot of guys step up and get seeds, and we had a lot of got a lot of points that way.
And this year I think we're going to do pretty much the same thing. We're going to be right up in there. Last year we finished second, and I don't see any reason why we can't do that good too this year.
All 4 years I've always had a great time at PAX, and it's really great to see how not only myself but our team and the other teams, how they have improved throughout the season and end up doing well at PAX.
As a team, I think we'll do all right. We did all right this season. A lot of the games were close, like 5-4, 6-3. So I don't think we'll do too bad.
We have everybody back. Our whole lineup's back, and it's been kind of a struggle if you looked at our total won and lost record. However, we've had 3 or 4 or 5 losses where we could have won the match as well as having lost it. So, you know, from that standpoint, hopefully we've learned from that.
There's definitely an extra drive whenever you head up to PAX. It's kind of like our last hurrah, and you just kind of want to get out there, show them what you're made of, and I think it's definitely an extra rush when you're up at PAX.
The Titans now improve their record to 3-9 and 2-3 in the PAC. They will be back in action tomorrow at the PAC Championships in Erie. We will now give out the honors to this week's SAC Athlete of the Week. This week's award goes to sophomore men's tennis player Fred Romeo. Romeo was the only Titan to go undefeated during the week, as he posted a 2-0 record at number 3 singles and a 2-0 mark at number 3 doubles. The softball team split a non-conference doubleheader at home against St. Vincent, winning the first game 12-7 and losing the second game 3-2. Freshman Deandra DeBacco led the Titans in the first game by going 3 for 5 with 3 runs scored as part of Westminster's 12-hit attack. Sophomore pitcher Jen Emery earned the win by going 7 innings with 7 runs on 10 hits, with 2 walks and 6 strikeouts. Westminster is now 16-9 on the season and are now 3-3 in the PAC. The Lady Titans will return to action on Saturday as they host Bethany. The Westminster baseball team split a non-conference doubleheader against Allegheny at home yesterday. The Titans came back to win the first game 4-3 in 8 innings, before losing the second game 6-4. The Titans trailed 3-0 before scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, the tying run in the bottom of the 7th inning, and clinching the win in the bottom of the 8th, when sophomore Dave Evans hit a 2-out single to right field, driving in senior Donnie Wommeldorf. The Titans are now 14-10 on the season and 3-1 in the PAC. They will be back in action Saturday at Bethany. The Westminster women's golf team placed second at the ML Cleveland Eccles Invitational on Monday. The Lady Titans scored a .421. Senior Emily Ackerman led them with a team-low score of 92 for 3rd place. Senior Danielle Adams fired a 106 for 11th place overall, followed by sophomore Lauren Seeger tying for 13th with 111. The Lady Titans were back in action today, and you can catch them back in action Tuesday at the PAC. The men's golf team placed 4th at the Carnegie Mellon Invitational. The Titans shot a .318. Junior Ravi Amina led the Titans by tying for 8th place with a 76, followed by junior Nick Marceau with a 10th place 77, and sophomore Matt Hoover with a 15th place 82. The Titans were in action today, and you can catch them back in action Tuesday at the PAC Championships. Trevor Immelman won the Masters with relative ease, completing a wire-to-wire victory for his first major title. Immelman closed with a 3 over 75, following 3 straight rounds under 70, leaving him 3 shots ahead of favorite Tiger Woods. And now we move into extra innings. The NFL schedule was released on Tuesday, and both Cleveland and Pittsburgh will be featured on national TV 5 times, including a Week 2 showdown, and then ending the season against each other at Heinz Field. According to last season's winning percentages, the Steelers have the toughest schedule in 2008. Evgeny Malkin and Yarko Ruutu scored second-period goals, leading the Pittsburgh Penguins to a 3-1 win over the Ottawa Senators on Wednesday night to complete a 4-game sweep of their first-round series. The Pirates lost 8-1 to the Dodgers last night. Rafael Furcal went 4-4 with a home run. Paul Mulholland picked up the loss last night, bringing his record to 0-2. Mulholland went 5 innings, giving up 4 rounds on 11 hits. The Buccos' next game is set for Friday. where they will travel to Chicago to do battle with the Cubs. The Indians lost to Detroit last night, 13-2. CC Sabathia earned his third straight loss for the Indians. He went 4 innings, giving up 9 earned runs on 8 hits and 5 walks, bringing CC's ERA to 15.63 on the season. The Tribe's next game is set for this evening and in another matchup with the Tigers. With the 4th seed secure, the Cavaliers rested LeBron James and fell to the Pistons 84-74 in their final game of the regular season. Delonte West scored 11 as the Cavs close out the year with a record of 45-37. The playoffs begin on Saturday as they play Washington in the first round. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more County Line.
Hi everybody, this is Tim McGraw for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. You know, I spend a lot of time on the road and I see some funny things out there, but one thing that's not so funny is someone who's about to drive drunk. So take the keys and be a friend, because friends don't let friends drive drunk.
So nice out here.
Yeah, I used to come out here when I was a kid. Nothing.
No, I definitely heard something.
Look! Who's that?
Let's get out of here! What are you doing? Shut the door!
Okay.
Turn out!
He does? I'm sorry! Come on, baby!
Think history is a little scary? Then log on to LOC.gov and see how much fun it can be. The Library of Congress at LOC.gov.
Properly inflating my tires burns less fuel and saves me money on gas. Yeah, I'm saving Mother Nature from pollution, but more importantly, she saved me $11. Ow!
Environmental defense. Get green.
By keeping my car regularly tuned, I save money on gas and repairs. That also means cleaner air. You know, feels good to help save the cash, planet.
Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
For many local residents, spring begins with a favorite pastime, fishing. The 2008 trout season cast its first line over the weekend, welcoming hundreds of fishing enthusiasts to local fishing hotspots. The relaxing adventure to Neshannock Creek, and needless to say, he got a bite. Here's Andy Bortz.
For a few months, the scene at Neshannock Creek remained somewhat empty. Now it consists of people bringing bait, boots, buddies, and yes, even a book. Welcome to trout season 2008 in Lawrence County, a time when even a father and son can bring one more thing to the creek, bonding time.
I'm 42 and I've been doing it since I've probably been 10. And he's 18, so, and I've been taking him since he was probably 4.
For many fishers down the creek, it's about finding the right spot.
Nothing happening.
For others, it's about countless hours of patience. And for our father and son, it's about a little luck. And only 2 minutes. They've already got their first catch of the season, and while others stand waiting at the creek, or in the creek, Dad says it's time to make one for the memory books.
I gotta get out my camera, so I'll take your picture and then you can put her back.
Well, maybe next time. But at least they can leave with one other memory. They started a string of good luck for the other fishermen.
Roll, buddy. I knew sooner or later.
No matter how large or small their catches were. Whether they come to catch all the trout they can or they come to stock the family photo album, there's nothing fishy about opening day for trout season. It's fun for everyone. Reporting from Neshannock Creek in Lawrence County, I'm Andy Bortz for the County Line.
Well, that's all we have for this week's edition of the County Line.
Stay tuned for next week.
Good night.
remind us all that, you know, she's more than some crazy lady who adopted an African baby?
First of all, I'm trying to look for a woman like that she described in the video. Now, Madonna said that this album, basically, she wants to bring it back to the American front. Before, she had European producers that produced the album. This one, it's all American. That's why you have Justin Timberlake. That's why you have Timberland producing the album. She wants to be big in America this time around. The last two albums